Welcome back. Well, as the Easter holidays conclude and people head back to their respective towns and residences, traffic officials anticipate a surge in traffic volumes with heavy volumes expected on major routes. Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says over 111 motorists were arrested during the long weekend, with no fatalities reported at Kranskop on the N1. Let's continue then to touch base with our reporters across the country. We're now joined by Kim Daniels, who is in Gqeberha for us.
As the Easter weekend draws to an end, As the Easter weekend draws to a closing, sorry there, we do have problems with our comms. We've seen a lot of traffic coming in and out of Gqeberha, those returning home from their respective Easter festivities. We were at Roadblock on the N2 earlier today. That was at the Neptune Bridge, just over the N2 as you leave Gqeberha on your way to East London. And we spoke with a provincial control inspector over there. He said that they had about 250 or more than 250 drunk driving arrests alone this weekend, and that's provincially right across the Eastern Cape. And if you count in or you factor in last weekend's drunk driving stats, we've had about 500 arrests in 2 weekends here in the Eastern Cape, which is an alarming stat. 15 people have unfortunately passed away due to accidents over this Easter period, which is very sad. But within the Nelson Mandela Bay, speaking to this provincial inspector, control inspector that is, he was saying they don't have all the data yet, but it does seem as if this Easter weekend the driving infringements, the law infringements have it does seem to be less rather. So it seems that they did better this year around than last year Easter. And speaking to some of the motorists as well, they were saying that all the coming into Gqeberha, leaving Gqeberha, the road was pleasant. All the motorists were courteous and were patient with each other. So it seems as if everyone is, putting their best foot forward, trying to keep safe on these roads. And, these are what these traffic officials, these law officials are trying to maintain, especially over busy periods like Easter, like Christmas, like New Year's, where there is a lot of traffic, on the road. They're just trying to ensure everyone's safety. So at this specific roadblock where we were at this morning, they were checking that drivers were fit, that their vehicles were fit, that being that the drivers were awake, they weren't drunk, they were sober on the road, that their vehicles were roadworthy, and that the drivers had no illegal ties to their names. So it was Metro Police, it was provincial traffic that was there, BMA Border Management Agency was also there checking cars, the K9 unit was also there. So it really was a multidisciplinary roadblock that they did have this morning. And we know in Gqeberha, over the Easter weekend, we do celebrate and host our annual Splash Festival. And that also brought a lot of traffic into the city, and a lot of people obviously leaving because the Easter weekend has come to a close and everyone is heading home.
All right, Kim Daniels there for us. Thank you so much for that report. Of course, we'll continue to give you a sense of what else is happening across the country as many of those motorists return from their holidays.